Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Today we're going to continue our story about those who go down to the sea in ships, our sailors. They're on the water. And this is very much like the story that we have of Jesus when he's asleep in the boat and the storm rages, and the sailors, the disciples, they don't know what to do. So they run to him. He's asleep. They accuse him. They say, don't you even care that we're about to perish? And so they call on him, and then what happens? Well, we're going to see that kind of thing here in this parable. Let me read for us today, 26 through 31. They mount up to the heavens. They go down again to the depths. Their soul is melted because of trouble. They reel to and fro and stagger like a drunken man and are at their wits' end. Then they cry unto the Lord in their trouble, and he brings them out of their distresses. He makes the storm a calm, so that the waves thereof are still. Then are they glad because they be quiet, so he bringeth them unto their desired haven. Oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness, and for his wonderful works to the children of men. Yesterday we saw 25, he commands and raises the stormy wind and lifts up the waves. But we don't know how bad it is until we get into this section here, because the waves mount up to heaven and go down to the depths, and you can just visualize that, the boat riding up that wave and then crashing down the other side. Their soul is melted because of trouble, just like the disciples, and just like the men who were in the boat with Job. Remember that story? Job is running from God, and the Lord sends a wind and a wave. And the men on the boat, their soul melted too. They wanted to know whose fault it was that the sea was so tempestuous. They reeled to and fro and stagger like a drunken man and are at their wits' end. And it sometimes takes us to get to our wits' end before verse 28 will ever happen. Then they cry unto the Lord. You see, sometimes we have to be broken, and that is without any other remedy. We have to get to the place where we just realize we can't do it and nobody else can do it for us, and there's no one who will help us, and then we turn to him and we cry out. You see, verse 28 now, We've seen it before because it repeats. I mean, we've had it in the first story with the saints, the second story with those in prison, the third story with the fools, and now here with the sailors, same thing. Then they cry unto the Lord. Once you reach that point, no matter who you are, then the Lord will hear and bring you out of trouble. Then they cried unto the Lord in their trouble, and he brings them out of their distresses. And notice, that is emphasized by the next verse, next two verses. He makes the storm a calm and the waves thereof are still, just like what happened on the sea with Jonah's story, just like what happened on the sea with Jesus and the disciples in the boat. That just a calm comes over everything. Why? Why did the calm come over everything? Because they cried unto the Lord in their trouble. Yeah, that's the time when you cry unto the Lord. You cry unto the Lord in your trouble, and he'll bring you out of your distresses. He'll make the storm a calm and the waves a still. That's what he did for these men. That's what he did for the men in Jesus' day, and that's what he did for the men on the boat where Jonah was. Then are they glad because they be quiet, so he bringeth them to their desired haven. Notice, it's the Lord that brings them to their desired haven. So he stills the waves and the sea, the wind, brings them to their desired haven. Oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness. So all of those things are his goodness. And you know what? He commands and raises the stormy wind and lifts up the waves thereof. That's his goodness too, because it's his way to bring us to our knees so that we'll call on him. Oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness and his wonderful works to the children of men. Join me tomorrow. We'll look at verses 32 through 35 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.